A pleasant day to all of us. I'm Prince Latrell Alvocalan, going to discuss about the rights of students. Before I proceed for the rights of students, the question would be, what is student rights? This is the question I would like to adhere first. As a student myself, it is very fundamental to have a student rights because it is an eye-opener for all students that they have rights and they are capable of being seen by society, especially the institutions itself. It allows them to make their education worthy and meaningful. In order for us to contribute in our society, even in our community where we are belong. Besides, it is a student's protection against the superiority of others. This right is giving us equal and comfortable access in education, regardless of our status, gender, and ethnicity. That would be the very best definition that describes a student rights. What rights did a students have? Rights to quality education. According to Article 14, Section 1 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, stated that the state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. As a student, quality education is a significant in our society to produce upright and competent students that are reliable for a country. Education is not a game that we must play with. It's formal. That's why it emphasizes all levels, meaning all students have protection in comfortable and equal access in education despite any circumstances. Education is for all. The Constitution provides us a safe space to culminate our potential and skills to further enhance our own crafts under the rule of law. Rights to free speech. Students are entitled to express opinions or beliefs with limitations. It is fundamental to avoid superiority and evade inferiority and promote harmony among the institutions. We are in a democratic country wherein our thoughts are vital for governing a nation. This matter is associated with schools. Students shall possess the freedom of expression to address the issue within the schools properly. A student can express their view despite the adversity. As a student, I need to voice out in order to hear my voice for inequality, harassment, and abuse to evade. We should not let our voice be silent. And because we are afraid, learn to refuse fear and embrace reality. However, do not abuse the law mandated by the Constitution on students. Speak formally and learn to have respect for teachers, staff, and other employees of school to create a conducive action and cooperation. Rights for everyone. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 26, stated that everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Education is for all. No one shall be left behind. Even if your age is far above your schoolmates, it really doesn't matter because we are entitled by Constitution to have access in education regardless of our age, gender, status, and religion. Education is free due to the fact that our Constitution makes it happen that even a poor citizen can have access without worrying about tuition. It ensures that all students have equal rights to mold their future and be a competent member of a society. Rights to scholarship. Republic Act No. 4090, an act providing for state scholarship in science, arts, and letters and for poor and deserving students. creating a state scholarship council to integrate, systematize, administer, and implement all programs of scholarship and appropriate funds thereof. This law is suited for students who excel in science, are granted by this scholarship to continue striving because mathematics, alongside with science, is the most hardest subjects in the Philippines. Definitely to continuously nurture their talent and skills and be able to share with any other students or contribute to our society. This law clearly wrote the praises poor and deserving students, meaning students who are financially struggling are catered to by this law so their dream cannot be killed because of poverty. Deserving students who are intellectually gifted are also granted by their own constitution to have a scholarship even if they are poor or rich. As long as they are showing good performance in school, they can get this scholarship. This program of our government helps to address issue about poverty as hindrances for students and to see the potentiality of students to perform really well in the institutions. Rights to sexual harassment. Under Republic Act 7877, work, education, or training-related sexual harassment is committed by an employer, employee, manager, supervisor, agent of the employer, teacher, instructor, professor, coach, trainer, or any person who, having authority, influence, or moral ascendancy over another in a work or training or education environment, demands, requests, or otherwise requires any sexual favor from the other, regardless of whether the demand, request, or requirement for submission is accepted or not by the object of said act. In school, it commonly happens in exchange for good grades to avoid getting lower grades. However, even if the students agree or not, the teacher, professor, and instructor can be filed of administrative case regardless of their intention because they are adult that having sex or having a favor to have sex with minor is ground for this law. When the power is not balanced, where the perpetrator is superior and having moral ascendancy over the victim who is inferior, maintain integrity, dignity, and moral as a teacher to avoid this crime. In addition, a student must know their rights and how to cope up and what action should they do to avoid sexual harassment.